guys, welcome to episode number 2 of Remontada. This is the Arsenal special that we have. We're talking about everything Arsenal, transfers that have been completed, transfers that are yet to happen, rumors, our expectations, and all of that. We've got two Arsenal fans, Honor and Ali. I'm an Arsenal fan too. So it's going to be pretty fun talking about Arsenal. We've got Rishi and Vansh to give us neutral perspective, supposedly neutral perspective, both United fans. Okay, Honor. Kai Havertz done. What I still genuinely don't know where he's going to play. I mean, we'll only have to wait. We'll probably have to wait for Arsenal to play their friendly against Nuremberg to see where he, fits into this team. Where do you see him playing? What do you make of the signing?
Yeah, so even I didn't know what to make of the signing because I didn't really expect it, to be honest. Like, I was quite gutted to see Xhaka leave, but I guess when
Hey, no,
sometimes
wait. We'll come to Xhaka. We'll have
Okay,
like a
okay, sorry,
proper
sorry. That's
sentiment
another
discussion.
Raul's
Actually.
favorite or no?
Yeah,
Come on.
Yes.
yeah. Sorry. But yeah, I think that Havertz might play in Xhaka's role because that's what I feel like because of the way Arteta's like spoken about it and like small things like I think he was listed as midfielder in the website or something like that as well. So I feel like he could fit into the Xhaka position, but there are certain problems with that. Like I think in an attacking sense, it might not be a bad option because even in his best season at Leverkusen, I think he often played as a number 8, and he does play well off the striker. So and Xhaka makes a lot of runs between the opposition right back and the right centre back, and he was good at cutting back and like scoring a few goals as well, which I think Havertz can also adapt to. And I think that he's a very technical player and he's young, so I feel like he has a lot of potential to develop, and I think that Arteta will have a lot of work to do with him. But I'm also very scared of the defensive side because we've not seen him give that much defensive cover. And on the ball, we play with a single pivot with like two number 8s where I can see him fit into the Xhaka role. But off the ball, we often play with like Odegaard stays up front and we play a bit more flat in the midfield where I don't know if Havertz has that defensive output. So I don't know how he's going to cover that. And the fact that we play with an inverted left back where there's sometimes gaps, and so I think that I don't know if he's going to change his tactics in that sense, but I'm excited to see what will happen. Very curious, but excited.
I think I'll quickly move on from we'll just again coming to you about Harvard's. We have a lot of things to discuss. Actually, a lot of things going on Arsenal. What do you make of the signing? Do you see him playing as a number 8, playing that Xhaka role, making those runs beyond the left back on the left hand side, late runs into the box at times?
Firstly, when I saw we were linked with Howard, like I was so happy because, dude, that guy when he was in Leverkusen, he was literally such a talent. I mean, we've seen it before with Odegaard. Everyone came and saying, "Where is he going to play? Will he play attacking mid? Will he play a right centre mid?" But you could see when Odegaard came in first how he used to play almost as a cam, and we've seen how Arsenal Arteta transitioning a system from a traditional 4-2-3-1 to more of a 4-3-3 over the past seasons, especially last season was like it's cemented as that. You could see him occupying that right hand space a lot with Zaka. And I feel like there is going to be a change in the system. I feel like there's going to be a shift in the system because the system we used last season you won't be able to use it this season because last season Xhaka used to go over to the left hand side and then Zinchenko used to come to the midfield.
Yeah.
And we know Xhaka is always very good and solid defensively. So that worked well. But this season, I feel like it's going to be a bit more different. I feel like Havertz is very versatile. He can play as a striker. He can play as a left centre mid, right centre mid also. I mean, if you really want him, you can play him as a false 9 also. So, like, he's going to be very, very, very versatile in that sense. And the advantage is one thing it's going to be is his late runs into the box. And especially his aerial threat. He's scored the most number of aerial goals in the Premier League apart from Haaland and Kane. So you can see that he's already been an aerial threat, especially with a struggling Chelsea where they don't really create much chances. Here you can see Odegaard's. If you remember the last goal of Xhaka itself, that Odegaard flipping it to the right from the right hand side to the left hand side where Xhaka headed it in. That's going to be a very I feel like that's going to be a very common play, and that's one thing where like Arsenal could have improved last season. I feel like we really didn't have aerial threat. Havertz coming gives a different dynamic,
Yeah,
and
even Saka
you
makes
could,
a far post cross often.
yeah, and
Mm.
I feel like Arsenal needs a bit of dynamic versatility. Last season, the only issue with Arsenal was they were very one-dimensional. For example, Xhaka goes out, they didn't have any like-to-like replacement. They couldn't really find solutions within the substitutes, which really hurt in the so-called games which we had to win. You could if I could remember the game against Southampton, Xhaka got subbed out and we got him Fabio Vieira. He didn't really do much. The players who came in instead of Xhaka, and when the system really didn't work, it used to be very tough to find different chances to create different chances to solve different problems. So I feel like
Southampton
Havertz is
was
going to
a
help
3-2-1, no? The
3-3.
3-2, 3-3-3, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like he's going to give us a better threat in the box, especially. So that's always good.
It's an exciting
So,
signing.
yeah, from one exciting signing and curious signing actually, moving on to landmark statement signing, Declan Rice, Rishi. How have you longed for such a signing for ages now? It seems like your Premier League rivals have done it. They've got the job done for Rice. Xhaka's moving out of Arsenal. There are rumors that Partey also could leave. If he does leave, it looks like Rice is all alone, and he's going to be the main man in that defensive midfield role. What do you see? How do you see Rice taking to Arteta's system and fitting into the Arsenal side?
I mean, considering the fact that Partey could leave, there's a good chance that the Partey can leave. Like, it's a very very important signing for the team, and not just for filling in the gap. Like, the level of experience, the level of quality that he brings to the table is like invaluable. Like, especially like considering he's very composed on the ball, he drives out from the back. He can bring the ball out from the back, and not to mention that his long balls go very under the radar. He Yes, it's definitely an upgrade on like departing Xhaka. But of course, like he plays a different profile. But then again, if Partey goes missing, he'll definitely be there to steady the ship. It's an invaluable signing for Arsenal.
Bro,
Once,
I don't think. Bro,
yeah.
firstly, I don't think Rice is a number 6. He's again a number 8.
He plays a double.
He's not going to play.
Yeah,
He's not going to
made
play
for
as
this
a
level.
number 6.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't
Number 8 is
play.
a Pogba role. Just
So
You can't play him as a number. You can't
so
play
then
him as a
who
single
plays
pivot.
there?
The thing is, you have Jorginho already at Arsenal. I feel
That's
like they're
true.
going to target
forget
another
him.
midfielder.
No, Adi, if you
no,
have to play Rice,
for
it
England,
looks like he will
for
play.
England also
It
Rice
looks like
plays
Rice will
number
play.
6, no?
Rice
But
plays
if
as
Rice
number
plays and
Oh,
Jorginho plays,
Henderson.
who else plays?
What do you mean? Rice, Jorginho, Odegaard.
Yeah, but Jorginho is not going to give you what Xhaka gave you.
No, my point is, I feel like when Partey goes, Arsenal is going to buy a replacement. I don't think they're letting Partey go for Rice. Rice is not a like-to-like
Yeah.
replacement to Partey. They're going.
No,
We've already
that's,
seen
I understand that.
Arsenal linked with Lavia and other players, so you can see the club is already interested in another number 6. Lavia is more of a number 6 than Rice. They've been linked with Caicedo also before. So ideally, you would end up seeing a midfield with like
Caicedo gone,
Rice,
bro.
Caicedo,
No,
Odegaard,
bro.
or
So
someone else.
if you say they do sign Lavia, which even I think they should, but if you're saying Lavia is going to play that number 6 role, Rice is going to play a little ahead of him. Again, like I don't see Rice being like for like say to say a Xhaka. I don't think he's got that finesse or like that cutting edge when you go forward and you go up the pitch like
Have
a
you seen his
Xhaka does.
goals before? Like I've seen
No,
a lot
I
of
mean, I'm
his
not
goals.
talking about his goal. I'm not talking about his long range efforts or goal scoring ability. I'm
Raul's talking
about
about the
keeping the
pausa.
ball moving.
Huh?
Like keeping the ball moving and keeping the
He's saying like in the
stuff.
final third, like where
Dude,
Xhaka often found themselves.
the problem with last year's Xhaka was he was unfortunately very bad in the final third. You can say he scored a lot of goals, but he's missed a lot of chances. He was very slow on the turns. He's very slow on the half turns. He really doesn't create chances. That's the problem with Xhaka, and that's the whole point of evolving from Xhaka. And Rice can be an evolution of Xhaka, not a like-to-like replacement of Xhaka. And that's what the team needs. You can't
No
ask someone to come and
evolution, bro.
perform to what Xhaka did. This is a total different player to Xhaka. He's going to have different responsibility, different roles. He's not just a guy who can play well in the final third. He can do very good in ball recoveries. He has a lot of interceptions. He's a number one player in recovering the ball. He has a lot of tackling ability. Along with that, he's ball carrying. He can progress the ball height. So it's a total different role, and that's why I think that systems are going to change. It's not going to be the same system as what Arsenal played last year. With Timber joining, also you can see that he's another guy who comes inside, who plays right inverted player. I mean, even though his preferred position is center back, we can see like a mirror to mirror where like they might some games take out Zinchenko and play Timber in the right inverted position, which comes inside. So we really don't know what position, what system Arteta is going to play. We'll only get to know what they will in the US, especially in the US preseason games. So until that, we can only
So
make
much
assumptions.
you guys spend, bro.
But yeah,
How much?
How much? United fan, the dog.
Yeah. Bro, so much
Wait,
you spend.
what happened to all
Arno,
that
Arno,
cash?
don't
What
club
happened
me
to all
with
that hand
don't
in
club
cash?
me with people
Bro,
like
you
Andy
guys have
Austin.
actually spent 500 million under Arteta, bro.
so what?
600.
What's
So
the
No, I'm
point?
just saying 600. I'm just saying.
600 in the past. Okay, 600 in the past 4 seasons, which is almost like 20 million per player. That's literally
once
as
we've spent
low.
good amounts of money on people like Ollie.
Bro, see,
So
United is like in a different bracket because everyone knows that you're low.
No, so why are you sitting and complaining, bro?
Complaining, I'm just stating facts.
Okay, fine. Okay,
These are not facts, though.
Fight thingy. Yeah, on Xhaka, we were on Xhaka. He's moved on to Bayer Leverkusen. Um, Obviously he had that crazy incident at Crystal Palace, throwing the armband, throwing the Arsenal shirt,
Yeah.
all of that. He's turned his career around at Arsenal. Finally left with the lot of fans like eventually liking him, and a lot of people probably didn't want to see him leave. Are you happy that Xhaka's gone? Would you have preferred him to stay and play like a squad player sort of role for one more season?
I do agree. Like at times in the season, I felt like maybe we could have upgraded on Xhaka. Like we should upgrade on Xhaka, but like when he finally left, it was kind of like a heart
Yeah,
pain
it was
almost. Because
sad.
like
Say it. It
yeah,
was
it was
sad.
sad
It was-
because we've
Ah.
been through a lot with that player because he's
What?
Adi, you don't have
I-
emotion. You leave, Dad. You had no point.
Shaka really sad,
No, but it's
bro.
fair, like,
My
we needed-
favorite Arsenal player.
Okay, that doesn't say much. If you like him, it doesn't say much.
Shut up.
one
yeah, I
sets
think
the
that
bar
we
too
could-
low.
We could have
Bro,
easily.
he's so passionate, bro.
Oh, thanks. Passion wins matches. No?
Continue.
But yeah, you were asking me. I think Rahul, you keep asking these questions, but I think this question is best for you because I know you are the like diehard
The
Xhaka
number
fan. So what do you
34
say?
Arsenal jersey.
No, dude. Like I've always liked him. I think he's always one of those guys who, yeah, he makes the odd rash challenge, but I think he's always one of those guys who he's easily targeted because he's out there and he puts himself out there for the team. And most of the times, these are the kind of players who are targeted, and a lot of people don't like it. But he always does the simple things well, which is what I like about him. And it's very easy to like disregard the simple things
Yeah.
that people do, the footballers do, but once you see that it's not there, you realize.
Exactly.
And I personally realized this so many times. Like when Xhaka's not playing in Arsenal for like in a particular game, like I realize I'm like, oh shit, like there's something missing.
Yeah.
And it's the simplicity that keeps, like, I think a lot of it together, and that's what I'll miss about him the most. Not even his passion and all of the fights and like going and like, I don't know, man, screaming at a bunch of people, the refs and all of that. It's just
That's the best, bro. Shaka.
But I
best.
loved his bangers against United also, of course. Like
oh yeah, bro, I enjoyed
It's
it a lot.
swirled, it's swirled.
This is,
It's
no.
swirled.
The best part is
It's
every
swirled.
club just releases comps of their legends
Yeah.
scoring goals, and somehow a certain goalkeeper manages to make his way into every
Bro,
one of those
they
comps.
made a 1 hour 40-minute compilation. There's no way that's made of mistakes. That is simply all goals he's conceded ever in his life. Bro,
Yeah.
how can you expect? Okay, anyways, that's United.
No. I mean, dude, that did look like a little shady goal, but like,
Yeah.
anyways, shady as in from De Gea's point of view.
yeah.
Bro, it's swirled.
Punch
I
card.
understand, bro.
But yeah, bro, I mean, that's it about Xhaka. I'm kind of sad that he's gone. I wish he stuck around for another season. I think we have the Champions
Maybe,
League
yeah. But
football.
Adi wouldn't agree probably because he never was a fan.
Dude, yeah, I mean, I don't agree that he needs to be in the squad. Like, again, I mean, good for him. He had a better season last season. Good for him. He had a better ending. He got his own chant finally in this last 3 games of his career for Arsenal. But again, I feel like we have to see it overall. He's been in Arsenal for like what, 7 years. The
Mhm.
season he came in, Arsenal stopped playing in the Champions League. The season he leaves, Arsenal's back in the Champions League.
Not
I
his
mean,
fault, by the
I
way. But
mean, yeah, it looks very, very interesting that way. No, but like
huh?
seriously, jokes aside,
That makes no
it's true
sense.
though. How
How?
it's
But that
facts.
doesn't
I'm
make
just
sense. It's
talking
not
facts.
because he. It's not because he came in that Arsenal stopped playing the Champions League.
I didn't
That
say
Correlation
doesn't.
that. I'm just
not equal
saying what
causation.
happened.
That's
Like
what you
I'm just saying
said.
the timeline. That's all. I just said the
Okay.
timeline. Like what
Okay.
happened.
Yeah,
I'm not putting anything. But
Hmm.
again, last season we could see he was very pivotal,
He'll blame
especially
bro
when
Aubameyang fraud, Aubameyang. He'll put bro on Aubameyang.
okay.
I don't know.
Anyways, let's
Anyways,
continue.
Anyways,
Yeah,
move
I
on.
don't know. I don't know what that was. But dude, anyways, good for him. Like I feel like he was a good squad player. He had a good season last season. But again, I feel like if you want to go to another level, you need certain players to go. You need to make those tough decisions. Again, I don't think him staying the season would have made a huge difference. I feel like you have to move on from certain players. Again, Xhaka is one more signing from that Wenger era that's leaving. And it's always good for the club when they're signing their own players, their own needs. And you could see the club
hmm.
was happy to leave him and let him go. Whereas last season, I remember there were rumors about, not last season, last season, I remember there were rumors about him being sold. Then he signed a contract extension. This time, I don't think the club stopped. I feel like Arteta's also let him go. I feel like they looked at other players, other young players coming in. And I feel like they have experience with Zinchenko, your Jesus, Jorginho, Gabriel also to an extent where they're happy with the so-called leaders in the squad, Odegaard also, to let him go and upgrade in that position which they've really needed for a long time,
Hmm.
which we've needed for a long time.
Fair enough. I mean, so 3 signings pretty much done. Rice and Timber should be announced sometime this week, hopefully this week or next week. And Havertz has already come through the door. Rishi, dude, I've seen the suggestion in a couple of places that Arsenal probably need another winger, like a right-sided winger, somebody who can play that Saka role, left-footed winger preferably. Do you see? I've seen links to Musa Diaby. I've seen Arsenal also linked with Malcolm from Zenit. Do you see any right-sided winger coming in? Do Arsenal need it?
I mean, do Arsenal need it? Not necessarily, but then if you want to compete at the highest level, now that Arsenal is playing in the UCL as well, like you can't expect, young players like Saka and Martinelli to put through midweek games and then go on and put 90 minutes in the weekend as well. So you definitely need some sort of backup. But then again, that is where I think signing of Kai Havertz really changes the game. Like you see, like all of like Pep's teams, they're all very versatile. They can switch positions. They can move. You see, not Mare, sorry, Bernardo playing one day he's playing false nine, one day he's playing a number 8, one day he's playing right wing. I really think Kai Havertz is someone like who can plays a false nine and then come back to play 8. That case, Jesus goes and plays on the right wing. Even in his last season at City, you could see him being more used and useful in the right wing. So I think in such cases it will be where like someone like Havertz will be playing that false nine and
Hmm.
Jesus will be going out wide. So let's see what happens.
While on white players, Reece Nelson signed a new contract at Arsenal. Once
One goal, bro. That banger goal. That's all. Okay,
that's all.
Banger, immaculate
that, that
vibes.
that deserved a contract, but like, yeah,
His
I guess.
No,
tattoos, his haircut.
Yeah, his
okay,
flair,
no,
his
Player.
famous
bro,
flair.
he's been at the club for a long time. He's a Haaland boy. Um, how do you think Reese can fight for a starting position in the Arsenal squad, or will he be more of that squad player? He'll play mostly, say, cup games or mm, probably easier clashes in the Premier League.
No, was this for me?
No,
Yeah,
like
Yeah,
yeah, no,
yeah. Go for it, Adi.
there
Go for it.
is like I don't think he'll
Hmm.
be first choice at this point in time. At least I don't see it as a bad contract extension. Like he could be good as a rotational player because he can play on the left and on the right. Like he has played on both wings. And as you were saying, as a on as a Saka replacement, I guess Nelson could cover that position at times, but I don't think
Hmm.
he's in that he's not in that level where he can start in most Premier League games or Champions League games. Like if Saka gets injured, which he hasn't got in the last, I think the last 2 seasons or something, he's like played an insane amount of minutes, which I don't know how long a young player like him can keep it up. But I feel like Reece Nelson is a good choice to extend his contract, but it isn't groundbreaking, in my opinion. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, I don't think we'll end up signing a right winger. We have too many attackers in the
yeah,
club already. We
exactly.
have three
James Smith Rowe,
strikers. We have Kai Havertz. We have Smith Rowe. We have
Arthur
Marquinhos
Martinez
Trossard.
back.
also.
Back.
We have
Marquinhos
Trossard. We have
also back.
Martinelli. I
Yeah, you
mean, I
forget
don't think
Trossard as
Martinez.
well. Like we have so many
Trossard.
options.
Oh,
There's no
right.
like need, and they're
I
versatile.
don't think. Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
don't think Marquinhos and all is going to even be in the club. He'll either be sold or loaned out. I don't think he's at the even level to play Premier League. But apart from that, uh, we have a lot of players already. We have Smith Rowe can play left wing, Trossard, Martinelli, Nelson, Jesus also can play
Completely
right
forgot
wing.
about
So
Smith Rowe.
we have a lot of players already there. So I don't think we can sign a strike. I mean, the only thing I would like to do is like if the club can sell Nketiah and Balogun, maybe buy a proper striker, like a young striker
Hmm.
again, where like a Holland
Yeah,
or someone who you can get a different profile from and nurture them to the next 2 3 seasons. Apart from that, I don't think attacking options are needed.
yeah. I don't think they'll sign anyone this season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
time to
just feel
bring
like
Giroud back.
I
Bro,
mean a
please.
competent young player like
Rahul,
who
our
There's
sees
a
in that.
Olivier,
new. This is a new
our
revolution happening at
Olivier
Arsenal with a
Giroud.
different
Dude, how
profile.
does this guy watch Arsenal all these years, call himself an Arsenal fan, and want Giroud back in the club? Like that doesn't even make
I
sense, bro.
absolutely
Like that
love
guy
Giroud.
that guy
What a
tortured me
good
all my life.
target
I'm never
man,
Bro,
gonna
bro. What
imagine
a
him
good,
playing in Arteta's team, bro. Are you mad?
what a good
Bro,
target
of course
man.
he's
he
not
won't be
good.
playing,
I was just
he'll be
kidding.
playing on the
Just saying, I was
bench.
kidding. But
Okay,
yeah.
Take
okay.
Begos,
No,
bro.
that's
Take
not a joke.
sign
Yeah, we'll take
Begos,
Vegas.
man.
Yeah, give him to him.
But yeah, I think I agree with Adi. I think we can make some money out of Balogun, at least from what I've heard and
Yeah.
read. And I think it's really time Eddie Nketiah also moves on. He's not going to get the minutes he desires at Arsenal, so it doesn't make sense. And yeah, we could probably use that cash to buy a new striker. Okay, probably one more player. We have a couple of minutes to discuss. Last one, Albert Sambi Lokonga is not gone with the team to Germany. He spent the second half of last season on loan at Palace. Or no, Sambi Lokonga, do you think he has any future at Arsenal?
I
It's time
mean,
to
not
go.
at this point in his career. Definitely not. I mean, I don't see him starting at any point in this year or two. Like, I don't say sell him, but he was okay at Palace. I think at least what I've seen, but it's nothing stand out. You can't start him. He was really flimsy in the midfield for us. Like, he's not dependable and such.
Okay, finally, last question, Rishi Vanch. Who ends up higher, Arsenal or United?
Be
Bruh.
honest. Don't be some United
Yeah, be
fan.
honest. I'm
Be
just
honest.
like,
Who do
I
you
I
actually
mean,
am
think?
being
Arsenal
Dude,
honest.
his
are
honesty is gonna be United, and it's
no,
like,
I mean
what do you
Arsenal
yeah,
are
expect so
are
much?
let's see what they have to say.
Arsenal are really in a much better position than United. Like in this project, they're like at least two transfer windows ahead. So they're definitely it's like like Arteta's had a lot more time to Of course, he's proven his worth. He's earned that time, but so yeah, I think
Rattled.
definitely
Rishi rattled by
So
these
who?
things.
So who will
yeah, I
finish higher?
definitely think Arsenal are gonna finish higher this season.
Proven
Yeah.
his worth, it seems. For 3 years, he did nothing nonsense. But anyways,
What are you
continue.
Okay,
saying,
yeah,
bro?
Vanch. Who finish higher? Who finishes higher, Vanch?
Bro, see,
Now, if he says
if
anything
see
but
Onana,
United, I'm gonna
no,
belt him
wait,
because
no, let me justify my selection
No, we
first.
don't want to know anything
No,
about it.
see,
Just tell
No,
us.
no,
no,
let
for
him. I
real,
want to
for
listen
real,
to this.
for real.
Like,
If we get like, of course, like Rice and all, Rice is a like pretty good signing,
Okay.
and like you guys have made some pretty good signings this
Okay.
season,
Very good.
but
Thanks.
but Eric Ten Hag,
Oh.
he's probably gonna have like a he's with Onana, with someone that he really likes as a keeper who, you can use his feet and something and like play out from the back. That's what he tried last season. But in like the second game of the season, Brentford 4-0
Didn't
lost. Rahera
didn't
trying
this
to
guy
play out.
send Onana fail comp in our WhatsApp group?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'd much rather have
Bro, this is
like
an
a.
I'm
I'm saying how
podcast.
Bro,
Ten
once it
Hag.
was a simple question.
Yeah,
Will
bro.
Havertz
This
finish
is
higher?
real.
That's why I told you
Bro,
about
That's
two
all.
phases.
We
of
didn't ask in
course,
another essay here.
bro. I'm telling you it's gonna be United, but yeah, fine.
So
Okay,
where
fine.
is
So,
United finishing?
but yeah, fine. Go on.
United,
Arsenal
United second, Arsenal fourth.
first. Yeah,
Okay, we'll do
first.
predictions
Go
later
on.
anyway, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
anyways,
anyways,
but
yeah,
like
okay.
yeah,
This
bro.
I was
Yeah,
Yeah.
fourth, second, and United second,
Okay,
Arsenal fourth.
thanks, Vansh.
okay.
Thanks.
So
Thank
for
you.
Arsenal, 3 signings done, or pretty much, and hopefully, I mean, I don't know if we're going to sign anybody else, but probably one striker would do well if we can let go of both Balogun and Nketiah. But that's about it, guys. Thanks so much for doing this. Bye bye.